So Tracy, what's been going on this week?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I got my hair did.
Looks great.
Right.
Good.
Thank you, thank you. We got some hate, but not from. Let me rephrase. We got a lot of positivity, emails, a lot, feedback, but we
Well,
also got some hate um, from our older siblings. That,
mhm.
of course, we knew that was coming.
Well, I think the very first thing that happened to us is that someone tried to shut our page down and complain about, like,
Saying there was violence.
there was something on there that shouldn't have been on there. So we actually had it shut down for like 24 hours, and then we decided, hey, we're just gonna. Did you just?
I deactivated the Instagram page
because that's where it came from.
because that's where I think this person tried to block us or
So-
get us in
But
trouble.
it was crazy because on the first page, the first video that was up was just us introducing ourselves.
Yeah,
And
it
that's where
wasn't.
they tried to shut it down
Well,
right away.
that's what I want to touch base at. Like, we have been filming all summer, but we are now releasing the videos. So we're getting all this hate and feedback from family members, and especially your side of the family. People have never even heard of
Mhm.
are now acting like they care about us.
Mhm.
And they want to protect the people. They want to protect their relatives. And it's like, we're not talking about your people. We're not talking about
So
your
I
family.
think, well,
We're talking about us and what happened to us.
and you make a really good point, and it has nothing to do with other people in our lives. This is our truth that we're trying to speak, and we're trying to let other people know, hey, you know what, if you're going through a hard time, these are you know places that can get you the help that you need, or even resources, because when we were scared little kids, we had no one.
Yeah.
So it's now that these people are all older people and they're sitting behind their computers and stuff like that, it's easier to say, hey, you know what, I don't think you should be doing that. You should rethink about it. Well, where were you?
That's
Yeah.
what I,
You know
I
what I
did.
mean?
I replied back to that one person. Where were you when we were growing up in this toxic relationship?
Mhm.
You want to talk about dysfunction in family? That happens in every family,
Well, wait a second. But Angel,
but not the abuse that we went through.
that's what I was going to say. Listen, yes,
Yeah.
there's
a
a lot of things.
difference.
Yes, there's a lot of things that happens with families, like, with money situation,
Divorce.
restrictions on dating, divorce, just all kinds of different things. But what we went through is physical, mental, and for myself, sexual trauma.
Yeah.
That is not stuff that kids should
That's
have to
not
go
normal.
through.
That's not normal.
No, it's not normal. And then for people to turn around and say they want to quiet my voice and say, hey, I think you should reconsider, making this podcast. This podcast is not for those people. This podcast is for that child out there that was in the same position that I was in, to help give them, hey, there is hope.
Mm-hmm.
There are other avenues that you can, get the help that you need.
Exactly.
Or the other thing that was mentioned in a message, that we're lying. It's all lies. How can three people go
Mhm.
through the same exact thing? You might view it differently,
Mhm.
but we have all the same truth.
Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
not lies.
Exactly. And I had responded to someone and I had said, listen, this is not my shit to hold anymore. I'm returning the shit to their yard.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I held this for 40 years.
Mhm.
I'm not holding their lies.
So
I'm
let's
not
just
doing it anymore.
So because this is another thing, like, people are coming after us now saying that because our stepfather's still alive, and saying that now we're trying to do this because we want to, like, maybe get him, in trouble, or we're trying to sue him or something like that. And that, again, we're not giving him anything. We don't want anything for him. Yeah, exactly.
It's really not like a blame game.
Yeah.
It's like just us telling our truth. We just want to share what happened to us. We're not trying to talk ill about the dead. I'm sorry, but this is what happened, and they're not here to defend themselves. But when they were here,
we told them.
We told them, and they did not acknowledge it or did not do anything to say I'm sorry or to mend it.
So I think, well, this is where some of us disagree. I would have to say, towards the end of Mommy's life and everything like that, I'm sorry, towards the end of Mommy's life and everything like that, Mommy tried to make the peace, but I see it that way, and we can respect each other and disagree, because you don't feel the same way I feel. How do you feel?
Oh, because I already basically disowned her way before she passed away. Like, I was very nice to her when I saw her, but I didn't want a relationship with her anymore.
Yeah.
Because listen, you can't say you're changing when you're still living the same lifestyle over and over and over again. even up to almost her dying day, she still had how many different animals or different dogs. Like, it was different because of who she was living with. They did not allow her to have those dogs. They did not enable her to bring those dogs into her own home, into their home. But if they were living somewhere else, they would have a lot of those dogs. They were taking the dogs over to our sister's house. I don't know if you remember that. So she was still living that same lifestyle. So like,
so stuff that would trigger you.
That would trigger me. But like, no, I did not see how she was trying to make amends with me, because like, I didn't want that anymore. Like, I gave her an opportunity when you sat us down that one day and you're like, hey guys, can you guys talk this out? And then when I was telling her, hey, this is what you did to me, and she's like, no, I don't remember that. That didn't happen. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Because you know what? You're not even validating my feelings. You're not even saying, I'm sorry that happened to you. Nothing. You're just like, that didn't happen. I don't remember it that way. And it's like, you know what? No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to just dismiss everything I've gone through because you don't want to remember. And you block that part of your life out.
And that's the same thing when we went to Philadelphia, and Angel and I went to go see our stepfather in hopes for an apology, or that it was dismissed and it was blamed all on mommy.
So this is what I can say, and I don't know if we said this in another episode, but I remember going with you all to Philadelphia, and I was like, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm not getting out. You two got out of the car, and you guys were like looking for, hey, you know, some kind of, and the blame game again got pushed on to mommy, which I honestly think what
I see it as different. When I walked into his house looked like a normal house. It was not.
It was cleaner.
It was clean. They might have had a couple animals, but not walls torn down.
No.
Not the way mommy was continuing to live.
But I think
it was divided, and like maybe it was all mommy who wanted all those animals, and then he just enabled her and fed her little addiction of animals. But
no,
but
I disagree.
Tearing down the walls and all that should never have happened.
No, I disagree. I think his wife now had more control over him, and that's why it was not done. Especially the children that were in that home were not treated the way we were treated, because
it's not about control. It's about her protecting her kids.
Yes, exactly. And that's where I was just getting at. She protected her home and her children, and that's why it was not done now.
Yeah, but you have to watch the word control. It's not really control. It's her protecting her kids, where she, you know, maybe we don't know their situation, but she's like, no, these are my children, and you're not going to disrespect them.
Exactly.
And they're
and this is my home, and you're not going to disrespect it.
Where our mom did not do that.
Exactly.
She, like, I don't know. I mean, we were going to talk about mommy, like, you know, later on and get a little more backstory, maybe why she was the way she was, but like, she was so wanting love that she just pushed us to aside our feelings because she was just craving love, and she's not realizing you have 6 kids who love you unconditionally, and you are so busy or wanting validation from men.
But I think that might go also back to, and this is something that I say that it's really good and healthy that us 3 can sit here and have a conversation and all have difference of opinion, because you definitely would say that that mommy was like basically basically just like whatever, you know, she was the major problem here, because when you went into our stepfather's old house, I mean his new house, when you all went back up there, his house was clean and everything like that, where Tracy is saying, hey, this is, you know, this situation. For me, I think both of them had issues that they both never got the help that they needed, you know, and I think when you don't get the help that you need, it's going to continue. It's going to continue on. It's going to continue on.
Together.
And then together, they were both enabling each other, you know, if you think about it.
Well, going back to the backlash that we're getting, it is from the siblings that we're getting, and they are now bringing in relatives that have no idea what we went through.
No, it's your relatives.
And it's the relatives.
Yeah, I know. I to be honest with you, I've gotten several emails from, you know, some of my relatives and everything like that, but like you said, they're relatives. To be honest with, where were they, or where were their families at, you know, when, you know, we were going through all this, you know, and it's like, you know, you say that you're my family and stuff like that, but were you really my family?
Then, however, I've gotten nothing but positive emails and people reaching out to us praising us that we have come forward and that we're speaking on this. And a lot of the emails have come from our abuser's family,
which is
so
crazy
it
to
is
me.
so crazy to me, and a lot of them have come from our neighbors apologizing, saying that they have known something was wrong, and they try to help us in certain ways, whether if it was giving us snacks or food, but it was like
or something to drink, because we
something
couldn't
to
go in and out of the house
yes.
if
And that they tried to call the state or whatever it was, and they've always felt bad for us, but they had to tread the water lightly,
Yeah.
So it's so weird that we are having more positive out of this, which is great, than we are negative. And the negative we are getting are from the people that, sorry to say this, but still have not broken that cycle.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, the reality of things is that we're the ones that are physically carrying our scars. They're still in our minds and everything, our scars in our mind and everything. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to break the cycle of, what we have gone through, and we want better for our children. So, saying that the way that you raise your children or something like that, like I have done a better job than you did, because my kid is like open-minded and will just like invite anyone to whatever. To be honest with you, we had to protect our kids when they were younger and stuff like that from our family, because we didn't know what we were going to get. If we were going to have a party and there was going to be an explosion or something like that. So it's better to have, a friend's party or a family party separate, because we don't know what we'd get.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But even like going back to your family parties, now that your kids are adults, both of you, your kids are adults, most of them made that decision. I don't want your mom part of my life, because they were raised around all the dysfunction. They seen it when they were little, and then as an adult, I don't want that in my life. And then you got blamed for most of it, and it's not that. Your kids they could think on their own. They're all amazing children. Well, I mean, they're adults now, but like they made those choices as adults.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm thankful that, my kids have an open mind and they were able to see it from a distance.
I was just about to say the same thing, that, our children are grown, like Angel said, and my girls have said numerous times, I could love your family from a distance.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I'm better than them, because I'm not. However, I could love them from a distance.
But I think what Angel said earlier about, like, I see mommy towards the end of her life changing and everything like that, where Angel sees it differently. But I can respect what she's saying, and you can respect what she's saying.
Absolutely.
And we're not saying, hey, no, what you're saying is wrong and what I'm saying is right or anything like that, because you have a right to your opinion. But you have to protect yourself. And I think, that's what we learned through this whole thing.
I mean, I see mommy change through the years. I've seen her, grow closer to God. I totally have. I seen her ask for, it took her years to realize what was done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think where Angel had already said this earlier, that we're going to make a video. Like, I would like to basically do like mommy's life, and us each rate each of us rate separately, and then us have a discussion on that.
Yeah.
Because today what we're really just talking about is like the backlash of like everything that's been going on with us, and we just like every day we just we also said we're also getting crazy people that we never even heard of saying like a whole bunch of like random stuff and everything like that.
Things that are totally inappropriate.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes when you're doing the right thing in life, people try to come and attack you and stuff like that. So that's why we have to keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I mean, I did see towards the end, like, because I was living with you at the time, and when mommy would come over, I did see a gentle side of her, like where it wasn't so angry and all that, like kinder. I mean,
no, I definitely agree. I did see and I also think that she was trying to just make peace towards the end of her life, and like, her saying all the things. I think that we probably would have healed a lot better as if when you had that talk with her and say, hey, these are the reasons why I'm not talking to you, or the reasons why I'm upset with you is because you did these things. And for her to turn around and say, no, I don't remember that, or I don't remember that. I think that's like our biggest, because mommy doesn't remember all that stuff. But like I said, you know, when you go through trauma yourself as a child,
You
sometimes you
bury
block,
it. You
yeah,
bury it.
you
You
bury and
bury
you
it and
block out
bury
some
it.
of the stuff yourself, you know. So this is not to bash, you know, mommy or our stepfather or even our other abusers, because we had some other abusers in our life. This is for ourselves and our speaking our truth, and that's at the end of the day what we're trying to do here, to help
Mhm.
others.
Girls, until next time. Thanks for the
Thanks for the
trauma.
trauma.